Hey guys, as promised, we are cooking today the most delicious Brussels sprouts. We are going to bake our Brussels sprouts with garlic, with some black pepper, some salt, and some coconut oil. This recipe is actually really easy. The only thing that might not be as approachable is timing of this recipe. Brussels sprouts, to bake them, it usually requires about 45 minutes. But other than that, it's really delicious, it's really easy. And why do we love Brussels sprouts, guys? And why it's much better than your regular broccoli, for example? Just 250 grams or about 8 ounces of Brussels sprouts with just a little bit more than 100 calories. They deliver 9 grams of protein, 10 grams of fiber, quite a lot of B vitamins actually. For vegetables, it's really an amazing amount. For example, folate, 60%, or so popular these days because of coronavirus, B6 vitamin that is super important for energy production. 55% in just 100 calories or 250 grams of Brussels sprouts. Then what else do we get here? 200% of vitamin C, so immune boosting for sure. We have 24% of potassium in just 250 grams of broccoli. Also almost 30% of phosphorus, 10% of zinc, 10% of iron, even calcium and magnesium about 7% of each. And again, super high in B vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin K, also like 400%, and 10 grams of fiber. And this is all just for 100 calories, also 9 grams of protein, plant-based protein. So Brussels sprouts, guys. So I have here about 500 grams of Brussels sprouts. And without like the ends that we're gonna cut off, that's gonna be about maybe 450 grams, and I'm gonna eat the whole thing. Today is my vegan or plant-based day that I do sometimes, and so I'm gonna eat the whole thing. First step first. By the way, guys, if you want to ask any questions while I do what I do, feel free to do so. But first thing, guys, we have 2 heads of garlic, and I'm gonna peel it and cut big chunks of garlic into halves. We're gonna use all this garlic, we're gonna bake it with our Brussels sprouts, and when you bake garlic, it becomes like such a delicious thing. You're not gonna get a lot of like benefits when it comes to health or boosting your immune system when you bake it, but other than that, it's really delicious, and it has like no garlic flavor whatsoever. So what we're gonna do, again, just basically you can also get garlic that it was already peeled. I like sometimes to peel it and cut it because, you know, sometimes I like peeling and cutting. It's kind of meditative. So anyhow, just break it into like pieces, and then we take separate ones. And let me show you what I'm gonna do with it. So this is my cutting board, and I have a knife here. Basically, I usually cut off the end and remove all this extra stuff. And then bigger garlic cloves, we're gonna cut in halves so they are baked evenly and just better. And this we put somewhere. We're gonna use them, we're gonna put them with our Brussels sprouts a little bit later. And so what I like to do usually is actually separate all of them, all like this. And we have a lot of extra stuff. And so this will take some time, guys. But again, you can get your garlic without all the stuff that you need to get rid of without peeling it. I'm not the most skillful cook, that's for sure. But I get things done. So by the way, yeah, hey guys, where are you coming from? Yeah, I'm not gonna marry anyone anytime soon, but thanks for asking. Appreciate the gesture. Okay, peeling garlic. This is the most like time-consuming part of the whole process, and you can speed it up by buying your garlic peeled. Okay. Okay guys, yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask while I'm working with my garlic. Yeah, and as I mentioned, guys, when we bake garlic, it loses all its immune boosting potential, so don't expect a lot of health benefits from baked garlic, specifically when it comes to its immune boosting like properties. But it's gonna be delicious. Mm-hmm. Who's joining me? Yeah guys, if you have any questions, so we are peeling garlic for our Brussels sprouts. We are baking Brussels sprouts with garlic. This is like one of the most delicious way to eat your Brussels sprouts. Like, I can eat probably, I don't know, a bucket of Brussels sprouts cooked like that. And like Brussels sprouts, you know, if you cook it any other way, I'm not a fan of flavor, but of nutritional benefits, of health benefits for sure. So this is going to be our second pat of garlic. So this recipe is really simple. It requires very few ingredients, just garlic, just Brussels sprouts, black pepper, some salt. What else? Coconut oil or olive oil, whatever oil you prefer. Maybe you even, you know, you can use butter also. Doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is you need to make your fat liquid, because we're gonna mix it with some spices and herbs, and we will put it on top of our Brussels sprouts. Okay, taking some time. Okay, we are almost done with our garlic. And then we're gonna do kind of similar work for our Brussels sprouts. So it might take like, I don't know, 10 minutes for the whole thing to peel your garlic. And if you don't have time, if you don't want to do this, this is totally okay option. You can just buy your garlic cloves peeled and already ready to go. Then it's just really gonna take a few minutes to do all the prep work before we put it into the oven, and then at 45 minutes it's all gonna be done. Okay, so we're gonna just move it here. Okay guys, so the next step is Brussels sprouts. So we have our Brussels sprouts, and we need to cut off this piece because it's not delicious. And we're gonna cut them in half to bake them faster, and so they have the same like consistency all throughout the head of Brussels sprouts. So we're gonna cut off the end of each one, and then we're gonna cut them in half. like this. And then I have this dish where I'm gonna be doing the baking, just regular one, specifically made, you know, to bake anything. And I'm gonna put all my Brussels sprouts here like this. So I have quite a few, but it's gonna take maybe like 5 minutes. Really fast, easy job. By the way, guys, always use your fresh Brussels sprouts for this recipe if you want your baked Brussels sprouts to be crunchy and to have this, you know, kind of baked crust. Because if you use the ones that were frozen, they're still gonna be delicious, but they're not gonna have crust and they're not gonna have the same crunch as fresh ones. So still doable though, and still delicious. And to remind you, just 250 grams of Brussels sprouts with just 100 calories will give you about 10 grams of fiber, 9 grams of protein, 200% of vitamin C, 200 with just 100 calories, 400% of vitamin K, 60% of folate, 50% of vitamin B6, a lot of other B vitamins, almost all of them actually in meaningful amounts. And then we have 24% of potassium, phosphorus almost 30. We have, what else? Zinc and iron, 10%, and 7% magnesium and calcium. So all of this goodness with just 100 calories. That's why Brussels sprouts are much better than broccoli. So I'm a huge fan of Brussels sprouts, and especially when you can make them super delicious, that's a win-win. And guys, Brussels sprouts, even though they would have just about 100 calories per 8 ounces or 250 grams, you're gonna feel like you have a lot of energy after eating them because of all the B vitamins that are required for different energy producing or energy creating processes in our body. So you're gonna feel energized after eating these Brussels sprouts, and great immune boost with all the vitamin C and other nutrients you're gonna be getting. Okay guys, so we are almost done with our Brussels sprouts. So prepping your vegetables for this recipe is probably the most time consuming part of it. No, actually baking is also taking about 45 minutes. But it's really simple and something to do on the weekend when you have time. It's really simple. It's almost impossible to mess it up unless you forget about them and leave them in the oven. So what do we have here, guys? We have a whole tray of Brussels sprouts. What we're gonna do now, we have our garlic, and we're just gonna put it right here. Any way you want, because we're gonna mix it anyhow. Now guys, before we start creating our dressing for our Brussels sprouts, that's the key to amazing taste. We're gonna turn on our oven so you can see. So we're gonna turn it on and put it on 200 degrees. Hopefully you can see. So 200 degrees. So it's gonna be warming up while we are creating our dressing. So we have a small bowl here. What are we gonna do? We actually have scales, kitchen scales, and we will need to measure about 80 grams of whatever fat you're using. I'm going to be using coconut oil. You can use olive oil or butter, but it's got to be liquid, guys, because we're going to pour it all over our Brussels sprouts. So 80 grams of fat, and we're going to measure it on our food scale. So this is coconut oil, liquid, about 80 grams. So 80 grams, we're pouring. So we have 80 grams. Here we have about 80 grams of apple juice, and this is the secret ingredient to give your Brussels sprouts this nutty flavor. So here we have our fat, our coconut oil, about 80 grams. Hello, everyone who's joined. Here we have our apple juice, 100% no sugar added, it's just fresh apple juice. We mix it like this. Make sure, by the way, if you are using coconut oil, that your apple juice is warm. If it's cold, it's gonna solidify your coconut oil right away. I made this mistake once, and so now I'm making sure that everything is room temperature. So we have everything here except for our spices and salt. Right, so we're gonna use black pepper powdered. This one is powdered. And you can use as much or as little as you want. Like, I don't like things to be too spicy, so I'm not gonna use a lot. But you can use, again, also you can use any herbs and spices you want, but I specifically am using only black pepper, and we're done, or it's gonna be too spicy. So, and here we're also gonna be using salt. So this is Himalayan salt. And I always put a little bit less than needed, probably because you can always add salt at the end on top of your Brussels sprouts, but it's hard to take it out if you make it too salty. So some salt, right? And we have a spoon here. We're gonna just mix it. So mix it all together. Your apple juice, your liquid fat, so it might be coconut oil, it might be olive oil. Those are two of my favorites. It can be also ghee or butter that you melt and make liquid. Here we also have, again, black pepper powder, and we have Himalayan salt. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do now, guys. I'm gonna show it to you. Okay. So a little bit messy here. So we have our Brussels sprouts with garlic, and we're just gonna pour the whole thing all over there. Okay. I'm gonna take our spoon and give it a mix. So all the coconut oil and apple juice and all of our spices, they're more or less evenly distributed. And by the way, guys, so I do this 2 times. I do this at the beginning, so right now, and then also at the point of half done, basically in about 20-25 minutes of baking, I'm gonna take my Brussels sprouts out and I'm gonna give them another mix. Now, you don't have to do this, but I like flavor to be distributed more evenly, and my Brussels sprouts to be baked more evenly. And so I take it out in about 20-25 minutes, and then I mix them and another 20 minutes. So total time is about 45 minutes to make them crunchy with a little bit of brown crunch. Okay, so that's done. And that's basically it, guys. So now we're gonna take oven gloves. So this is what we're doing. Okay. Our oven is ready. Okay, so we're gonna open it up. Put it. Close it. And guys, again, so here we have 200 degrees Celsius. So it's 200 degrees Celsius. And we're gonna wait for about 20-25 minutes. Then I'm gonna mix them again. You don't have to do this, it still will work. And then another 20 minutes, so it's about 45 minutes total. 200 degrees Celsius, and yeah, this is the whole recipe. And guys, honestly, this is the best Brussels sprouts you'll ever try in your entire life. I can eat like a bucket, I don't know, this is 500 grams, I'm gonna eat the whole thing. And if you cook Brussels sprouts any other way, I'm not such a fan, but roasted with garlic and black pepper and salt, yeah, I can eat a lot. I could probably eat two of those, like a kilo or something. So Brussels sprouts, yeah, so now we're gonna basically wait for 45 minutes for it to be ready, and then I'm just gonna show you the final product, and then I'm gonna eat them. And guys, again, why we should love Brussels sprouts? 250 grams, for example, or 8 ounces, is about 100 calories, is about 10 grams of fiber, 9 grams of protein, 200% of vitamin C for our immune system, a lot of different B vitamins. For a veg, like this is a lot of B vitamins, 60% of folate, 55% of B6, important for energy, especially extracting energy out of our fats in the food or on our body. What else? Potassium, 24%. Everybody needs more potassium, and Brussels sprouts are really rich in potassium. Phosphorus, 30%. Iron and zinc, 10% each. Magnesium and calcium, 7% each. And all of this in just 100 calories. Like, this is a win-win. It's actually a jackpot when it comes to vegetable. So I can't wait to eat my favorite Brussels sprouts. Thank you guys for joining in. I'm not that regular with my live Instagram appearances. Maybe I should do more, maybe, I don't know. But anyhow, guys, let's wait for our Brussels sprouts. If you have any questions, if you'd like to make this recipe happen and you missed something, or maybe I missed something, let me know. Comment underneath this video, and I'm gonna give you all the details about this amazing simple Brussels sprouts recipe. So cook up some Brussels sprouts sometime soon. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Eat some Brussels sprouts. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me. Have an awesome day, and you'll see you soon.